So, picture this. You're in a room or maybe on a giant virtual call with 10 different stakeholders, and every single one of them is demanding completely conflicting features for your new project, all while a terrifyingly tight deadline is just breathing down your neck. If you're a business analyst, you probably just nodded your head, right? Because we've all been there and it can feel like absolute chaos. But what if I told you there is a specific, highly effective technique designed to literally cut right through that noise and build rapid consensus? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to the BA Club. I'm your host, Shipper Gupta, and today we are going to master one of the absolute most powerful tools you can have in your business analyst toolkit. We are talking all about the requirement elicitation technique known as workshops. Okay, so here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to start with what requirement workshops actually are, look at a real-world application, walk through the workshop lifecycle, compare this to other elicitation techniques, and finally wrap up with the pros and cons. Let's kick things off with Section 1. What are requirement workshops? So, by definition, a requirement workshop is a structured, time-boxed group session that brings cross-functional stakeholders together to collaboratively elicit, refine, and edit requirements. Now let's break that down into plain English because every word there matters. Structured and time-boxed basically means this is not a casual chat over coffee, okay? It has a strict, non-negotiable agenda and a set time limit to force productivity. When we say cross-functional, it means we aren't just talking to the IT team in a silo. We are bringing in marketing, sales, compliance, end users all at the same time. And most importantly, it is highly collaborative. This is an active problem-solving session. You are absolutely not just a clerk taking down a wish list of demands. You are the facilitator guiding a room full of people to actually make decisions and solve complex problems together. Now, you definitely shouldn't use a workshop for every single project that lands on your desk. They are heavy-duty tools. So when do you use them? Well, you want to pull this out when you have incredibly tight project timelines. Why? Because instead of trying to schedule 10 separate one-hour meetings over 3 weeks, you literally just get everyone in a room for a half-day session and knock it out. You'll also want to use workshops when the business needs are super complex and cross-functional, meaning a change in one single department causes a ripple effect in another. And they're an absolute lifesaver when project goals are unclear or conflicting, and you just need immediate stakeholder input and consensus. I mean, if sales wants one thing and IT is sitting there saying it's impossible, a workshop forces them to figure out a middle ground, right then and there. Moving right along to Section 2, Real-World Application. Let's see how this actually plays out in the wild. Let's imagine a real-world scenario to make this concrete. Meet Grocery LLC. They're a massive supermarket chain, and they've decided to build a brand new m-commerce or mobile commerce app. It's a huge project. Now, you're the business analyst, and you start hearing rumblings. The sales department, well, they want the app to have totally open, easy access to all customer purchasing data so they can push real-time upsells. Makes sense for them, right? But wait, the compliance officer is waving a giant red flag, demanding super strict privacy controls and data encryption that completely restricts that access. Meanwhile, marketing is over there demanding a massive, all-at-once, big bang launch with heavy graphics, while IT is absolutely insisting on a slow, phased rollout with a really minimalist interface so the servers don't crash on day one. If you interview these people separately, you are just going to end up with a list of completely conflicting requirements. You need them to hash it out. You need a workshop. All right, Section 3, the workshop lifecycle. How do we actually pull this off for Grocery LLC? Let's dive into the step-by-step. So, a successful workshop is honestly won or lost before anyone even walks into the room. Stage 1 is all about preparation. First up, you have to identify your cross-functional stakeholders. For our Grocery LLC example, we need a lead from sales, our very strict compliance officer, the lead IT architect, and the marketing director. Notice I didn't say their entire teams. You do not want 50 people in the room. You just want the key decision makers. Next, you have to define specific session goals and an incredibly tight agenda. Our goal isn't just to casually talk about the app. Our goal is to, quote, resolve the data access conflict between sales and compliance and agree on a rollout strategy between IT and marketing. Super specific. Finally, distribute your existing materials well in advance. Send them the current process models, the regulatory constraints, the user feedback. Send it a few days early. You want them walking in with their sleeves rolled up, ready to work, not spending the first hour just trying to catch up. Okay, now we enter Stage 2, conduct. This is game time. This is where you, as the business analyst, put on your facilitator hat. The moment the Grocery LLC team is in the room, you establish the rules of engagement, and you rigidly follow that agenda you made. You are the timekeeper, and honestly, you're the referee. To keep people from just checking their emails on their phones or passively zoning out, you've got to use interactive activities.
Get them up out of their chairs. Get them to a whiteboard. Use brainstorming to generate ideas for the app interface, or use process mapping to visually show sales and compliance exactly how data is going to flow from the user to the database. And this right here brilliantly illustrates the magic of the workshop. As conflicts pop up, like sales demanding that feature that IT says will literally crash the server, you navigate that conflict immediately. You guide them to negotiate a trade-off in real time, and you document those agreed-upon ideas on the spot so everyone can see them plain as day.
Let's pause and look at some core rules of facilitation to make sure you get the absolute best use out of this time. For your do's, do engage stakeholders early and keep all communication transparent. And absolutely do maintain a parking lot. Let me tell you, this is a total lifesaver. When the marketing director inevitably starts rambling about a completely different project, you don't shut them down rudely. You just write it on your parking lot board and say, hey, great point, but that's actually outside today's scope. I've parked it right here for a future meeting. It magically keeps the agenda on track without hurting any feelings. Now for the don'ts. Don't ever allow passive listening. If someone's being super quiet in the corner, call on them, ask them a direct question. Don't ignore conflicting requirements. Lean right into them and resolve them. And never, ever assume a stakeholder's needs without group validation. Always pause and ask the room, does everyone agree this is what we need? So the meeting wraps up, everyone goes home. But guess what? Your job is definitely not over. Stage 3 is all about what happens after the workshop. You take all those messy whiteboard photos, the sticky notes, the furious notes you took during discussions, and you analyze and document the elicited requirements clearly and concisely. You need to send the official meeting minutes and your raw notes to all the participants promptly. Usually within 24 hours is the golden rule. This keeps the momentum going. And finally, you absolutely must validate these findings with the stakeholders for an official sign-off. You send the finalized document to our Grocery LLC team and basically say, hey, this is exactly what we agreed upon, please review and approve. This crucial step is what prevents someone from coming back 3 weeks later and saying, wait a minute, I never agreed to that. All right, let's pivot for a moment to Section 4, comparing elicitation techniques. Workshops are fantastic, but they aren't the only tool in the shed. It is so vital to choose the right tool for the job. As we've been discussing, a workshop is strictly for consensus building and collaborative problem solving in a cross-functional group. But compare that to an interview. An interview's primary purpose is a deep dive into specific domain knowledge, and it's done one-on-one. Then you have a focus group, which is all about getting qualitative feedback on specific ideas, usually from pre-qualified representative users. And lastly, brainstorming, which, by the way, can totally be a mini activity inside a workshop, is specifically designed for the rapid generation of innovative ideas in a very open, free-flowing group session. Let's break down a couple of these comparisons just a bit further because people get them mixed up all the time. First, let's contrast workshops with focus groups. People confuse these constantly just because they both involve putting a bunch of people in a room, but the dynamic is completely different. In a workshop, you have cross-functional stakeholders, like our sales and IT leads at Grocery LLC, actively resolving conflicts and making structured, binding project decisions together. A focus group, on the other hand, is about gathering a homogeneous group, like say 10 everyday grocery shoppers, to discuss their attitudes and get qualitative feedback on your app's new design. Simply put, focus groups give you opinions, workshops give you decisions. Next up, let's look at workshops versus interviews. You'd want to use a workshop when you need broad alignment and prioritization across multiple departments at once. But let's say during that workshop, the IT architect brings up a highly complex legacy database integration that's gonna affect the new app. Well, a workshop with 5 other non-technical people is definitely not the time to spend 2 hours diagramming database tables. Instead, you schedule a follow-up interview. An interview is that in-depth, one-on-one session used to extract highly specific technical or domain knowledge from a single subject matter expert. Think of it this way. You use the workshop for the what and the why across the whole team, and you use the interview for the detailed how with a specific expert. Okay, bringing it home with Section 5. Let's look at the pros and cons of the workshop technique to give you a really balanced perspective. Like literally any technique out there, workshops come with distinct trade-offs. On the pro side, they are absolutely unbeatable for fast consensus and conflict resolution. They generate super high stakeholder engagement because people actually feel like they're a part of the process, which builds a ton of trust. Plus, they capture diverse ideas simultaneously, breaking down those annoying departmental silos. But we have to look at the cons. They are highly resource and time-intensive. Pulling 5 department heads away from their daily jobs for a 4-hour session, that costs the company a lot of money. And because of that, it can be a total nightmare trying to line the schedules of all those key players. Finally, and I can't stress this enough, a workshop will completely fail if it doesn't have an expertly skilled facilitator. If you aren't comfortable managing strong personalities and aggressively keeping the agenda moving, the workshop will just devolve into an unproductive argument.
So the big takeaway today is that while workshops definitely require serious preparation and some real facilitation muscle, they are the ultimate tool for cutting right through project gridlock. Think back to that chaotic room of 10 stakeholders we talked about at the very beginning of this explainer. You now have the exact blueprint to walk in and take complete control of that room. So I ask you, are you ready to turn stakeholder chaos into structured consensus on your next project?
Thank you so much for hanging out with me today on the BA Club. If you found this explainer on the workshop technique useful, please let us know by dropping a comment down below. I really do love reading your feedback. And hey, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely check out our playlist for deep dives into other requirement elicitation techniques, like document analysis and prototyping. Also, if you want to have a further discussion related to business analysis skills, or if you just need some advice on a specific project challenge you're facing right now, you can actually request a one-on-one session with us on the BA Club Telegram channel. The link for that is right down in the description. I'm Shipper Gupta, and I will see you in the next explainer.